great program presented by Oyefelu and Ojedeji. It's time for the front page review of our dailies, like we do it every weekday, every morning. We come to you with the news making the rounds in Nigeria. We give you some of the headlines and also get to discuss it, what's happening, the hottest news, and all of that. My name is Mary Onaife Debbie, and with me in the studios this morning is Taiwo Olapade. Good morning.
Good morning, Mary. Happy to be on the show with you this morning.
Yes, thank God it's Friday. Most importantly,
Of course,
and
we're looking forward to Salah celebration and a very beautiful weekend.
yes, a relaxing one at that. Rufa Husseini will be joining us online this morning. He's going to call in later on the show. I remember we're also going to be giving out our phone lines for you to talk to us and also respond to the stories in the news this morning. And you can watch us live on YouTube. And also, you can also watch us live on our website at www.voiceofthepeople.ng. On Instagram, Facebook is VOP 903 FM. So you can go to our platform and be part of the program. Now, let's move on. I have the Punch newspaper. I have the Daily Thrust and also have Vanguard and the VEONewsNG.com. So let's start with the Punch this morning. Kuje prison invasion. Interpol gets fleeing inmates' data. Border security heightened. Kidnappers demand 20 million naira for Ekiti travelers. Hold priest. Traffic extortion. Sanity returns as Lagos constitutes committee. You get the story on the Punch newspaper. Another one says government court sack Okowo's candidate, Ibori's loyalist wins. That's on the Punch newspaper. 4 trillion naira subsidy. Domestic refining is the solution. 4 trillion naira subsidy. Domestic refining is the solution. The full story is on the Punch. Salah, Sultan, Nasat, others calls for prayers. Tolerance. You get the story on the Punch newspaper. Conservative leaders eye Prime Minister office as Johnson resign. And now to the Daily Trust this morning. Court killings. Ogun monarch goes traditional way, imposes curfew. Police arrest siblings over robbery, hacking bank accounts in Oyo. Police arrest siblings over robbery and hacking a bank account in Oyo. Still on Daily Trust, MPAN, NGE, and NUJ. IPI vows to resist attempt to stifle press freedom. And from the Vanguard newspaper, gunmen kill Adamawa cleric's son, adopts daughter. Namadi Kanu, it's time to seek political solution, reduce the tension in Southeast, Bishop Onoha tells federal government. Still giving you a story from the Vanguard this morning. 2023, Atiku Keyamo, because over June 12th, support for Abiola. And now moving on to our online platform, the VEONewsNG.com. Kwara excavates beggars from streets. Okay, also from the VEONewsNG.com says court sacks a Delta PDP governorship candidate. And finally, from also the VEONewsNG.com, Odumeji assaulted as Anambra government demolishes church. And that's all the stories we have for you this morning from our dailies. There are plenty more. All you need to do is to just pick up a copy of the newspaper and read the stories there for yourself. Now, let's talk about the first story this morning. Still on the Kuje prison invasion. Interpol gets fleeing inmates data, border security heightened. We're still talking about the Kuje prison. It's more than 24 hours since it happened, and we can't say that we've gotten any concrete information or any concrete solution Nobody has been caught yet. All we are getting this morning is that Interpol gets fleeing inmates data, about 60 of them, 60 terrorists now. They've gotten their information. So what's next?
Well, that's the best thing to do when things like this occurred, and the federal government has made a kind of request to the Interpol. We know when you have a thing of this nature, the best thing to do, or the next thing that should be done, is to link up with Interpol, because we are talking about over 60 Boko Haram terrorists who were captured and who were kept in Kuje prison facility before the Tuesday night attack on that Kuje prison, that correctional center.
Yes.
And the prison has become a kind of maker of sorts. People are now visiting the place. Yesterday, it was the turn of the Senate President and some other delegation from the Senate. And
yes.
The Senate President Ahmed Lawal, speaking to the man in charge of the prison in the country, said, "How come that a facility of this nature does not have a CCTV camera to just look back at what has happened?" That's number one. How can you have a prison center that does not have a CCTV camera? Does it mean that we don't have the money to source for CCTV camera for a facility of that nature? That's begging for an answer from the Nigerian Immigration Service and Prison Service. So what the government has done in this regard by talking to Interpol is the right thing, is the right step in the right direction, because it is possible that some of these terrorists may want to find their way out of the country. Definitely, they will want to stay back in the Federal Capital Territory because they know there is big search for them.
Yes.
Federal government is looking for every means to recapture them. But it's also good that some of those who escaped, when the attack occurred on the prison facility, have been rearrested, but not much of, and we have not even heard of any of the arrests, of the rearrest of these terrorists who are Boko Haram members. And most of them have been in custody since close to about 10 years.
Yes.
We have talking about some people have been in custody, and people are also asking the question, why must you keep over 60 Boko Haram members in the same correctional facility? Why don't you just spread them across the country? Because that's the reason why that center is vulnerable to attack. And it shows clearly that those who attack Kuje prison, they have a reason for doing so. And the reason they have been able to do what they intend to do by setting those people free. And we also learned that some of those who have also been arrested for the attack on Abuja Kaduna train incident were also set free by that attack on Kuje prison. So those who attacked that prison knew what they were doing, and they have been able to carry out the attack, and they have been able to set free those who they intended to set free from that correctional facilities. And sincerely, many questions are being asked now. Federal government is even saying that they are also thinking of a saboteur, and they have asked that there should be a proper investigation as regards what happened at that facility. Because we are also hearing that some military men, DSS, NSDC, police that are also manning that place were withdrew about 24 hours before the incident occurring. So who gave that order of withdrawal? That's another question that is begging for answer. They withdrew those people less than 24 hours. There was an audacious attack on Kuje prison. So all these are begging for answer, and we are hoping that those in charge of the prison service, the correctional facilities, will also tell us who gave that directive, that the military men, the DSS men, the NSDC, who are manning, who are guarding that prison, who gave the directive that they should withdraw them, and not up to 24 hours, there was an attack, a orchestrated attack on that Kuje prison facility. So these are questions that are begging for answer, and we are hoping that we will get answer to this question. And the other day we were talking, I said we have witnessed so many attacks on prison in Edo, in Ogun, in Oyo, in Osun, in Kaduna. That should be enough for us to prevent reoccurrence. I'm not a prophet of doom, but I know in the time to come, maybe we will also be talking about another jailbreak, another attack on another correctional facilities, because the same way goes with kidnapping. Every day you hear people are being kidnapped.
Yes.
Every day you hear that people are being killed.
Now, yeah.
Every day you hear that these terrorists are demanding for ransom and they are being paid ransom. How come that we couldn't use intelligence to track them down and get them arrested and get them prosecuted? So long they continue to demand for ransom and ransom are paid, definitely they get emboldened. And that's the reason why how we continue to have such unfortunate incidents in this time of our nationhood. And people are also asking that how come that the president can even have the audacity to leave the country when you're having an emergency situation? This is time to show leadership, and this is time for him to even sit back.
You know that his media aide said that if he doesn't travel, that the plans to travel to Senegal has been in motion since, and if he does not travel, it will show that it will show that
he could as well send the Nigerian ambassador to Senegal. He could as well send the chief of staff to the president, or even this SGF. These are also powerful top hierarchy in government that could represent him.
We have Rufai Hussaini on the line this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mary. Good morning.
Okay, good to have you join us today again. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
So we are talking...
Thank God it's Friday, Baraka de Salah.
Yeah, Baraka de Salah to you also. We are talking about the Kuje prison break. It's still very much in the news. And we know that this happened 6 years ago. It's not the first
Tuesday
time.
Night.
Yes. No. It happened some time ago. Yes, 6 years ago, there was an attack on the Kuje prison. So this is not the first time an attack is happening.
Right.
Yes.
But this one won't happen on Tuesday night.
Yeah, this one's going to happen on Tuesday night. And there are a lot of questions. We have in the news that Interpol gets fleeing inmates' data. Border security has been heightened. But I have a question this morning that why will terrorists of that nature, lots of them, be put in a medium security prison instead of a maximum security prison?
That's a pointer to the disruption in our systems and how things have gone seriously bad in our system. You know, that hardened criminals, which some people will say, okay, the deradicalization process is going on with them, but a lot of people have been questioning those deradicalization process that, is it really worthy? Can you de-radicalize an already radicalized person, you know, and you now put them in a medium security prison instead of the maximum security prison, like places like Gashua and the like, where you put them.
Where so you have the CCTV working cameras, because it just
even shows the failure of the system. I mean, well, you just Google online Nigerian prison CCTV cameras. You see story of, in fact, I think in Jos, it was just 2021 they were calling to install CCTV cameras in Jos prison. So if you take an audit at CCTV cameras working in Nigerian prison, your guess is as good as mine. So it just shows the collective failure of our system. And also, what is even shocking for me about this is what the Senate president said this morning, that there's a connivance with some people internally. The question is, how can we get rid of these people? You see, they pray a prayer, they say, may Nigeria not happen to us.
Amen.
When they pray that prayer, it means that there's a lot of incompetence in the system. But this is a clarion call for us to change that level of incompetence, to do what is right. You know, I kept on saying this week that righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach. When we don't do what is right across board, we have problems and we have challenges. So I am not surprised. Yes, Interpol has swung into action. They are checking all the borders so that people can't run away and everything. Should we even be here in the first place if we did what is right?
Yeah.
Go and even look at the state of our prison. Most of our prisons are congested. This is Abuja prison. They say had over 1,000 inmates. The capacity was supposed to be 530. That was the capacity. Even if we are to go by the official reports of the people that escaped, you know, close to 600 to 900, they were already over the maximum capacity of the prison at this medium prison. And when you look at it till date, I'm sure if they had CCTV cameras, they should have brought out the CCTV cameras for their investigation. Even look at the prison side. You know, when the president went there, all the cordon lines were already walked on. You know, they had walked over the cordon line. So the question is, you're asking, what can the forensic experts really do too much? You get?
Yes.
What is the reconnaissance? There were some reports about some soldiers that went there that said, oh, they had better firepower, that the people carried, the terrorists carried general purpose machine gun GPMG. You get?
Yes.
So what is the reconnaissance measure? What are the situation put in place? What is the scenario planning that if prison are attacked, this is going to be the response time? I mean, these are the factorial things we should look at going forward to avert prison breaks. But we don't learn. Because go and check. In the last 1 or 2 years, we've had close to 10 prison breaks.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Close to 10 prison breaks. So it's as good as when is the next prison break going to happen? What did we learn from the last one? Did we put anything in place? It's because we didn't put anything in place. It's because of there's a competence. That's why we don't learn anything. And see, let me tell you something, my dear. You can never ascribe to malice what you can explain with incompetence. Don't say people do not like you. Don't say they have malice against you when you know you are incompetent, you didn't do your job well. So we can blame all the high heavens for what we want in this country. We can ascribe it to malice. Oh, these terrorists are terrible and all of that. But our incompetence was lacking. So never ascribe to malice what you can explain with incompetence.
Now,
it is incompetence that caused this problem.
Now, let's look at the Nigerian citizen now, because this is a serious security problem. And we need to reestablish confidence with all of us, the citizens, because we read in the news every day concerning kidnap cases. Right now, I read this morning that kidnappers are already demanding 20 million naira from the people they kidnapped yesterday, already demanding 20 million naira. So how do we establish confidence in ourselves? Because the issue of insecurity is high up. It's off the roof.
See, it is hard to say people should be confident when everything points at increasing their confidence. But let me say this. That is why the government should step up. They should do the needful. Deploy more resources. See, once people start to see they are doing their work, they can get their eyes closed. Let me tell you a story. In the 80s, there was a certain armed robber called Lawrence Omajapo Animi.
Yes.
He terrorized most parts of Bendel State. And I remember, Babangida gave a directive and said Lawrence Animi must be brought down. Finally, Lawrence, Mondel Subo and his team, when they were brought down with the police officer that was conniving with them, so it's not today connivance started, when they were brought down, for the first 2 months after Lawrence was brought down and they were killed by firing squad, there was a renewed confidence, and it was reported that nightlife activities increased in Benin City and environs because people started making the joke that at least they had killed Anini. So for the death of Anini, there was renewed confidence.
Yes. And
that's how, when we solve our security situation, renewed confidence comes. If we start to foil the attacks of these terrorists and we start to win against them, and we start to hear stories of, they tried to break into a prison but they were repelled more often, and they were apprehended and they were gunned down, then confidence will start again.
Tomorrow is Salah. Go there. Now, how would they celebrate Salah, knowing that after 24 hours, nobody has been apprehended yet? These criminals
The sad thing is, already there are reports coming out of Abuja that there are roadblocks anywhere, there's heightened insecurity. But you see, the famous words of a British rock band, Oblidi Oblada, was an adaptation of a popular Urobo man saying Oblidi Oblada, that the likes of John Lennon and the Beatles heard, and they formed into a song called Oblidi Oblada. Life goes on.
Yeah.
Life will still go on. People will still come out. All right, but they should be security conscious. They will still come out.
Okay.
Life will go on, but they will be security conscious. So people should go out there, celebrate their Salah, but they should be security conscious.
Okay.
Be careful of multiple gatherings. Be careful of people and just be watchful. But the bleeding of bladder, life will go on, like the Beatles says in their song.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's take calls now from our listeners out there. Oblidi Oblada. It's a robo word. Okay, life will go on, but we have to be security conscious. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903. That's the number to call to make your contributions this morning. And also, you can drop us a DM or send a message to us on our live stream on YouTube. It's voiceofthepeople.ng. That's a Voice of the People. We have our very first call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you join us. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Iowa. My name is Stanley.
Okay, Mr. Stanley, good morning to you. Talk to us.
Good morning. Welcome. I love this particular topic right away.
Okay.
When I had this, in fact, it's boring. Telling me honestly, I couldn't believe it. Imagine Kuje prison was bust by.
Can you please speak up a bit? Speak up a bit so we can hear you clearly.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I said it was. In fact, I was scared when I heard that the Kuje prison was attacked by the known government.
Yes.
Knowing full well that kind of area should have CCTV, which if anything happens there, it will be easier to locate it. And I heard that the security on duty, we are not there when the incident happens. That kind of a thing. But let me tell you, let's just not beating around the bush. There is an insider. There is an insider. There is nothing to be said about it. There is an insider.
Okay. Okay.
But we need to be, the government needs to step up. There is a lot of problems.
Okay. Okay.
I don't want to say much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we really appreciate your call. He's saying there's an insider. And there is no way such an attack. They spent over 1 hour there. And they came with a lot of weapons. And they were able to succeed. And nothing has been done about it. It means there is an insider. That's what the caller is saying. Do you think so?
Well, just like he said, already the federal government is calling for
hold your thought. We
thorough investigation.
We have a caller from Senegal. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you on the show. What's your name? Where are you calling us from? Okay. Can you speak up a bit? We're having difficulty hearing you.
Yeah, I'm calling from Senegal. My name is Lucky.
Okay, talk to us.
Yeah, what I see about this prison break, it just, I don't see anything or anything there. Just it's their game plan. It's their game plan. Government game plan. Why do they have? Why there is no camera in prison?
No camera at all.
Why there is no camera? Well, how much is camera? Camera is not much. So that you can get 20,000 camera. And get 15,000 camera. Can get 30,000 camera. Government don't have a capital city don't have camera. It's a shame. That country is just frustrated. You know, put the camera. Even in Senegal here, if you go it, micro solution is for Nigeria, and they are working. Nigeria might have it. We fix camera in all the prison here. We fix camera in the prison here. Even in Jandarmeri, that is they are just like we call it in Nigeria, military camp.
Yes.
Yeah, all of them have camera everywhere. You say you don't have camera to look what is happening. Even
where you have terrorists. Where you have
terrorists. When you have terrorists. Even here, there is no terrorists here, but there is camera everywhere. Even in your house, everywhere there is camera. You can even fix camera without no connection. You just only light. As far as there is light, you can even connect camera with light.
Thank you.
I don't understand that.
Thank you. Your words are almost making me to want to shed tears. The way he's saying camera, it's not so expensive. Where you put terrorists, where you put criminals, there's no CCTV camera. No, look at it. Look at it. It's the number to call is 0700 903 903 903. That's the number. Good morning, Ambassador Mushba.
Well, good morning, Mary.
Yeah, good to have you join us. It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
I'm always close to my phone and radio of 90.3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Bike is not all my Muslim brothers and sisters.
Yeah, thank
to
you.
me, it's unfortunately Nigeria most becoming failed state, and no one should be happy about that. Like I'm not happy about this. You know, to me, I think by now the Minister of Interior and the Control Prison General should be in the guest of DSS right now. They should be asking questions right now. You know, if I mentioned about the Lawrence Anene,
Yeah.
do you know that the DSP Yamu is the brain behind these people. He's not covering them. He's not shield them. Not until an enemy was caught before he discovered that he's the police officer behind this movement action all over the Edo State at that time. And look, that's what happened at these terrorists we are talking about now. There must be someone security behind them. Or must get the information. How to get to that prison? Walk freely just like that. Imagine Kuje prison. Honestly, head must roll. Why to go on action right now? You don't look anybody face to and do the needful. It's getting too much. Is it the first time? I think this of Interior and Control Prison should be questioned right now. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ambassador Mujba. Thank you. I know we're getting a lot of calls, but it's time for us to wrap up this morning. We've been discussing issues in the news on the front page review of our daily. It's Taiwo Lakwade. Thank you so much for always coming through with insightful comments. And also Rufal saying thank you. And everybody that's called us, want to say thank you for being part of the program. We'll be here again, God willing, on Monday for another round of front page